friends. In last session we have seen that how we can run our Selenium scripts on a different web browsers, and we have seen some examples for that also. So now let's try to get into more details of the Selenium. So today we are going to discuss what are the locators in a Selenium, then how many locators are there in a Selenium, then how to find the locators and their values from the browser, and then there are some examples with respect to those locators. Okay, so let's start with the locators. So what is mean by locators in a Selenium? So these locators normally helps to locate and find elements on the web page. Okay, because see, somewhere we have to perform some actions on a web page elements. So there we need to find out the elements first, okay, their values and all that stuff, so that we can uh, execute those elements with the script. Execute means like, okay, we can input the text into the text box, we can click on the button, or we can select something from the drop down. So all these types of the actions we can perform on the elements. And uh, again, uh, with respect to the elements we can perform some user actions also. So okay, and we have to keep in mind that these locators are very important, uh, or they play very important role when we are writing the scripts or when we are executing the script, because if anything goes wrong with those uh, locators, or whilst at the time of the selection of these locators, if anything goes wrong, that may lead to the failure of the Selenium script. Okay, so now how many locators are there? As you are seeing here, there are total 8 locators in the Selenium. First one is the ID. Okay, so you can detect or find element on the web browser with the help of ID, or a name, or a link text, or a partial links text, or a tag name, or a class name, or a CSS. It's a CSS selector actually. Okay, CSS selector, or a XPath. Okay, so in today's session we are going to see all about uh, seven locators, and XPath will have a complete different session for the XPath, because there are so many things we can do with the XPath. So I'm going to keep that as a one more session for the XPath. Okay, so now next topic is how to find locators and their respective values from the browser to identify element. So let's take an example of all the browsers. Okay, so Chrome. So how we can find those locators on the Chrome browser? So what you need to do, you need to first open the Chrome browser. So let me open the Chrome browser. So here I have opened the Chrome browser. Okay, and if I go to the google.com, let's go to the google.com. Okay, now I want to find locators for, let's say, this Google image, or this text box, or maybe these elements while writing the script. If I want to find the locator for this, so what I need to do, I need to right click anywhere on the web page and then go to the inspect. Okay, once I go to the inspect, what I have to do, there is a one arrow over here. Okay, on the inspection window there is an arrow, you have to select it. Okay, here comment is also there, select an element in the page to inspect it. Okay, so now I have selected it, and then I can go on each and every object or element of the page, and then just I have to click. Suppose if I need to find out the locator, because I want to enter, suppose I want to enter value in this text box. Okay, so what I have to do, I have to click here, and it will show me in the inspection window, okay, what is this. Okay, so here you can see input, it's the type of the input. Okay, and then class is there, max, length is there, name is there. So this is the name is our locator. Okay, so we are going to use that for our Selenium script. Okay, so this is how you have to find out the or this is how you are going to use your inspection window to finding the locators over here. So what you need to do, you need to just click right click on the web page and do the inspect. Okay, so then inspection window will open, and then you have to select on the this arrow button and then navigate your mouse and click on any button or element to see its locators. Okay, so that's about the Chrome. So let's go ahead and close this Chrome window. Okay, next one or there is a option to is like, okay, you can use shortcut keys also, Control Shift I, and then you can use the select element, that is the arrow from there. Okay, now Internet Explorer, this is pretty much there are two you have, this is like a something here you need to take some different steps in Internet Explorer. So let me show you this. So open Internet Explorer. So I have opened over here Internet Explorer. Okay, go to the google.com. You can go to any website, it doesn't matter. Okay, I have opened google.com. Now what I need to do, I need to right click on the, okay, right click on the web page, and okay, it's not, maybe it's a age, it's not an Internet Explorer. So let me open the Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer. Okay, so if I open Internet Explorer, it will be like this. Okay, ask me later, and then continue to the site google.com. Okay, so google.com, here you can't, you don't see this in. Okay, here is also inspect element button. So once you do the inspect element, maybe it's an Internet Explorer version. So if you have more version for the latest version for the Internet Explorer, then you can see over here. So you can do the same thing, like, okay, click on this select element. It's pretty much slow, might be. Yeah. So you can go here like this and then see, you can select. So here you got it like, okay, input name queue. So we can use this name as a locator for this, and then this. Okay, so this is about that, and you can use other things also. So it's like you have to go to the tools and then F12 developers tool. Okay, you can use shortcut key also here, F12 for the developer tools. So these are the different ways you can access inspection window. Okay, so this is about the Internet Explorer. Okay, so let's go ahead and close this Internet Explorer, and next is the Firefox. So what you can do is like go to the Firefox, open Firefox, then go to google.com. Okay, and then do the inspect element. Okay, the same way, and you can use this uh, arrow to select element to find out the uh, locator. Okay, so this is about all three web browsers, how to find out the locators for the elements. Okay, so we can go ahead with the next one. Next topic is, okay, how we are going to use these locators in our Selenium script. Okay, so first we need to understand our Selenium script syntax. Okay, so Selenium script syntax is for the element. like to find out the elements, okay, is the web element, because everything on the web page is the element. Okay, so we have to use web element, and then name of the element. This name of the element is anything that is with respect to your element. Okay, it is user defined, so you can use as per your convenience. Then equal to, then driver, because for the first we have seen in our last scripts, we have to create first the to open a browser we have to create a web driver, right? And an instance of that is the driver. So driver dot, then you have to mention find element, because we are finding the element and with the help of the locators. So by is again a keyword, then dot. If you put dot, then it will automatically give you all the options for the locators like id, name, class, link text, and all that stuff. Then this locator is nothing but all the above. uh, uh, this locator is nothing but id, name, link text, all these above things. Okay, and then the locator value is, you have already seen, like, okay, when you find the locator with the in the inspection window, then it will have the locator value also. Okay, so this is about the syntax. Now let's go ahead and find out and work on some locator examples. I'll show you how we can find out. Okay, so the first one is the id. Okay, so id is nothing but it's safest and fastest locator option. Okay, so mostly you have to go ahead with the id if id is there, and if id is not there, then you can use name, class, or xpath or css selector, anything. But this is very this is unique on the web page, so you have to use that. If that is there, you must have to use that if that is there. Okay, so let's take an example of, like, okay, facebook.com, and we'll see email input text box from there. So I'll show you that. Sorry, so this is the facebook.com. Okay, so here, okay, I'll just open one more time so that you guys can see it. So okay, then right click, inspect. You got the inspection window, then select arrow, and then click on this. Okay, so you have input, type is email, class is this, and name is email, and id is email. See, I have two locators over here, like a name is there, id is there, then class name is also there. But as three I am having over here, but I am going to use only id, and that is email. Okay, so I have written here, that is the web syntax, and mine is script syntax is like this: web element. See, this web element and web element, and the element email. This is defined by me. Okay, so it's like a user can take anything. You can take your name also, doesn't matter. So name of the element equal to, right, then driver dot find element, then by is again a keyword, dot id, because id here we are using. Okay, and the value of the id is email, so we are putting over email. So you got it, like, okay, this is how we have to get the id. Then the second locator option to go ahead with is the name. If you have a name, that you can use, if id is not there, you can use the name, but you have to again see that, okay, it can't be unique on the web page. Okay, so you have to be very careful while using it. If multiple times it comes on the web page, then Selenium always will perform the action on the first matching element only. Okay, so just go ahead with the google.com. Okay, so let's go ahead with the google.com. Okay, and then uh, go to the inspect element. Okay, and then try to find out over here. So here you will see name is equal to q. Okay, so here name is q. Okay, so here I put again the same web element, this user define equal driver find, and by name, see name and a q. Okay, so this is about the name. Then we can go ahead with the link text. Okay, link text. So on the Google here only, on the google.com, you are seeing here this Gmail. This is the link. Okay, if you go ahead with this, click on this Gmail. So here you will get, see a link is always a anchor clause. Okay, so a and then href and then this, where is anchor clause is for the Gmail word. Okay, so here I have mentioned link text. Okay, so this is what the full thing for the anchor clause. Okay, from the web syntax. And then we have used my syntax again with the by as a link text and the value from here, that is Gmail. So I have mentioned Gmail here. Okay, link text and Gmail. So next is the partial link text. Partial link text is again the same for if you have to write for the Gmail one, then you can write okay by dot partial link text, and you can take either GM or MA or AI or MAIL or AIL, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, it should be a partial text from that particular word, wherever you want, if you want to click on that. Okay, so actions can be performed after that, but finding element I am just telling you now. Okay, tag name mostly used when you have to find multiple elements from the web page. Okay, so here if let's say example of like, okay, I want to find out all the links from this particular web page, then what I need to do, I need to, if these are the web syntax for the multiple links from the web page, okay, then I can use this web element anchor tags driver dot find here, sorry, find elements, and then by dot tag name, and I have to give the tag name if it is a or a input. All these are the input tags, whatever the HTML tags you can use. Okay, now let's go ahead with the class name. And class name is like, okay, Google search button. If you and see here, input class name is this. Okay, so this is the web syntax for the Google search button, and this is the class name. And I have used here by dot class name is this GNO89B. Okay, then also it will get detected. So there are so many ways, different locators that can help us to locate the element or to find the element. Okay, this is for the class name. And the CSS selector, now Google search, the text box is having again us, this is the CSS selector for the Google search button. Okay, so now I have used this here in this by dot css selector, and I put all the css selector over here. But see, select the css selector, what you need to do, right click, inspect, select an element from the inspection window, right click and copy selector. I'll show you that. Okay, so here we have selected this button and this text box, and here, so what you need to do, you need to click here, right click, then copy and copy css select, copy selector. Okay, and the same way you can copy the XPath and copy full XPath also. Okay, so that's the way you can select the CSS selector and XPath also. Okay, so this is again this. So by dot CSS selector is the locator that we have used. XPath. So there are basically two types of the XPath. Absolute XPath we are not going to use mostly. I'm not suggesting you to use anytime absolute XPath, but it's what the complete path from the root of the element to the desired element. But if there is any architectural changes on the your web page, it will impact your the testing or testing script. Okay, but the relative part is the widely used, and it is by referencing the element user want and go from the particular location. Okay, so we will discuss about the relative path in our separate session. There are so many ways you can use the relative X path. Okay, so this is about all about the locators in the Selenium. Okay, and in next video we'll go ahead with the examples with respect to the particular locators. Okay, but you have to keep you have to understand like us about the CSS selector is how we can find. So if you go to the google.com, then inspect, and then click on this particular arrow, then go here, click, and then right click here and copy selector and copy XPath and copy full XPath. Okay, so this is all about the locators in the Selenium. Thank you friends, have a good day, and bye bye.